All right. Hi, good evening, Karen. Thanks for waiting and thanks for joining at 9:20. How are you? Is everything okay?
Hi, teacher. I'm fine, thank you. And you? How
Great.
are
That's
you?
great. I'm fine. I'm kind of fine. I think I'm not better. I'm kind of worse. If you hear my voice, I'm kind of hoarse, throaty. But well, that's why I asked you for some more time. All right. I had to prepare some tea and I drank it and so I can feel better to have this conversation. All
Oh,
right.
no worry.
Good. So, if you remember, Karen, the last thing that we were doing was watching a video, and it was about water. Okay, we're going to continue working on this video because we have interesting vocabulary. But let's try to remember the elements that we were learning. If you remember, and you're going to tell me if we got to see this, we were learning about the functions of water in our body, right? Do you remember these elements here, Karen? Let me know, please.
Uh, One is the water in our bodies works like cu- cushion, cushion, lubricates. Then regulate temperature. And the last one is now nourish our brain.
Correct. And what do you call to this part of the body?
I don't remember spinal.
Uh-huh.
No.
And it's the spinal cord. Okay, spinal cord. Okay, good, very good. Only one observation there. Instead of saying it works as a cushion, all right, don't use cushion as a noun, use cushion as a verb, okay, as an action. So it's better if you say directly, the water or the H2O cushions and lubricates the joints, okay? Instead of works as a cushion, directly cushions and lubricates, all right? Okay, good. I'm going to show you the words once again because it's important to have those words. Also, this was good, but only the pronunciation instead of that OU, it's only going to be like oo, like nourish. All
Oh,
right, nourish. Exactly. And there you have the name, right? A spinal cord. Two different words. Great. You remember that one? Very good. So H2O cushions and lubricates the joints, right? And lubricates the joints. It regulates the temperature and it nourishes the brain and the spinal cord, right? Because I'm using third person over there. Very good. Now, also we took a look at this, right? Comparison. How can you explain this picture over here? Okay.
the brain and the heart have three quarters of water, like banana.
Good. So they are similar in terms of composition, right? The amount of water that they have is similar. Good. Only this word, remember, it's okay, but instead of a, try to make it more like heart. Okay, heart. All right, let's repeat that word, please.
Heart.
Good. So the brain and the heart are three-quarters water, which is similar to a banana. What about this one? The same. Very simply explained, Karen. How can you explain this one?
The hands, I think.
It's with L. It starts with L.
Lungs, lungs
Okay.
are similar with a apple with 18 no 83% of water.
Okay. Very good. Good. Instead of similar with, you have to say similar to. Okay,
Similar.
so you can say this: the lungs are similar to an apple. Right? Good. That's correct. I'm going to show you just in case the spelling, and you know that one, right? So it was good. Lungs, right? With you. Great. And the last one, you don't need to mention this. It's the bones, right? The bones are 31% water. Now, we also look at the second part. Remember, we learned about being hydrated and dehydrated. Did we take a look at this with you, Karen? The liters that we lose in a day? Were we able to cover that with you as well, or we didn't see this part?
No, we
We
did.
did. Okay, so let's take a look at this part, and you're going to explain everything you get. All right. Ah, yes, now I remember. You asked me about hydration, right? Hydration, dehydration. This part is going to mention that one, okay? So you're going to remember those words as well. Here we go.
We're essentially made of water and surrounded by water. Why do we still need to drink so much? Well, each day we lose 2 to 3 liters through our sweat, urine, and bowel movements, and even just from breathing. While these functions are essential to our survival, we need to compensate for the fluid loss. Maintaining a balanced water level is essential to avoid dehydration or overhydration, both of which can have devastating effects on overall health. At first detection of low water levels, sensory receptors in the brain's hypothalamus signal the release of antidiuretic hormone. When it reaches the kidneys, it creates aquaporins, special channels that enable blood to absorb and retain more water, leading to concentrated dark urine.
All right, up to that part. I'm going to play it again. All right, because there's a lot of information over there. Try to get only the basics. Try to get the ideas for first, why do we need to drink 2 or 3 liters, all right, of water a day? Here's the explanation, right? How do we lose that much water? With what activities? How do you call to the stage, right, of not having the water you need or having too much water in your body? And lastly, the last part, okay, it's more scientific. So in the last part, only try to tell me in general how is or what happens when we don't have the water we need in our bodies. All right, there's an explanation. So I'm going to play it one more time. Try to get as much information as you can once again, Karen, and then you try to explain everything. All right, so let's listen to it one more time.
Made of water and surrounded by water, why do we still need to drink so much? Well, each day we lose 2 to 3 liters through our sweat, urine, and bowel movements, and even just from breathing. While these functions are essential to our survival, we need to compensate for the fluid loss. Maintaining a balanced water level is essential to avoid dehydration or overhydration, both of which can have devastating effects on overall health. At first detection of low water levels, sensory receptors in the brain's hypothalamus signal the release of antidiuretic hormone. When it reaches the kidneys, it creates aquaporins, special channels that enable blood to absorb and retain more water, leading to concentrated dark urine.
All right, only up to that part. So how can you explain this part of the video in your own words, everything that you got? Then we're going to go back a little bit and we're going to see some important words that you're going to add to your vocabulary list. Okay, but so far, what can you tell me, Kat?
We can lose 2 or 3 liters of water a day if no, sleeping. I don't know if I pronounce it all right. Breathing, when we move, we lost water. Then we can have three no this hydra no dehydration or the opposite, to the both will be dangerous for our body, and when we don't have enough water in our body, our brain sends a signal, and we create for evaporis. I don't know how to say this. Poros, poros in our lungs.
Good. In that last part, don't worry, I'm going to help you out. All right. That last part again, it was very like a lot of scientific words from medicine and even parts of the body that we don't know. All right. We're going to see those are aquaporins. Okay, aquaporins. But we're going to see because actually something very specific happens there, and I'm going to show you the words. The most important part again is the beginning because here you have vocabulary that you can use perhaps more often than the vocabulary explaining the kidneys and that stuff, but also I'm going to give you those words if you're interested. But here you were right, 2 to 3 liters. Now in how we lose that amount of water, we can be more specific. You mentioned, I think one was right, you talked about breathing, right? Breathing, sorry. When you breathe, you lose water, right? That's correct. Also, the first one, I think you got it, but you didn't remember the pronunciation. Right? But how do you say sudor? How do you say sudor or sudar?
Um, so
It starts with S and W. S and W.
is is with
Close. It's very similar to that word, but it changes a little bit. Is sweat. All right.
sweat.
Sweat. Your sweat, sudor. So when do you sweat? When you move, when you do exercise, all right? So also the movements was good, but the word that you heard, movements there, is not that movement, okay? It's a different one. One is sweat. The other one is something very obvious. What do you do every day that, of course, uses water? Is urine, right? To urinate, right? Urine, number one in the bathroom. So sweat, number one in the bathroom. And number three is also something that you do in the bathroom. But in a medical way, they call that bowel movements. Okay, bowel movements is to defecate. Okay, number two in the bathroom. And finally, breathing. And don't worry, I'm going to show you the words now, right? So first, you have sweat, right? The last word over there. SWEAT, right? That's the first way in which you lose water. Then urine, right? Number one, that's the number one. Then you have this one, bowel movements. Okay, bowel movements refers to number two in the bathroom. And finally, even from breathing, right? So that's the four reasons. So doing just those four things, and we do that every day, right? At least almost every day. That's expected that you do that every day. You lose again from 2 to 3 liters of water. That's why you need to drink that amount of water. If not, your body needs to compensate, and perhaps you are damaging your body. And that's what they are going to explain later on, right? So that's the first part. First, let me know if you have any questions about those words, Karen.
No.
No? All right. In the second part, the last pronunciation was good, how you were trying. And again, the best thing that you can do is try, try, try. If I give you the correction immediately, you're not going to try, right? But the way of trying is the best way to memorize something. So dehydration, right? You have hydration, dehydration, overhydration. But if you want to use that as an adjective, it's going to be hydrated, dehydrated, and overhydrated, right? There's no S, no una S in medio, right? Only dehy, all right? And the last attempt that you did was correct, okay? Dehydrated, hydrated, overhydrated. So it's important to have a balance, right? You have to be hydrated. You don't have to be dehydrated, and you don't have to be overhydrated, right? Because those two cases are negative for the body, right? It says, right? Both the two cases, dehydration and overhydration, can have devastating effects on overall health. It means the complete health that you have, all right? Your whole body. Then the last part, you explained that it is also very well, but only some words were different, all right? So yes, in other words, again, if you want to know exact words from this part, let me know. But in general, you receive signals, right? Your brain is going to produce signals and receive signals, and it's also going to send information to the kidneys, right? The kidneys are the organs that you use, of course, it's related to urine, right? To urinate, for example. Okay, kidneys. It creates aquaporins. And what is that? All right. These aquaporins are like channels over there in the kidneys that are going to do this. Okay, enable. They make the blood absorb and retain more water. All right. So if your body feels that you don't have the water that you need, it's going to do that with the blood. And that's why they say, all right, when it happens, your urine is going to be concentrated and dark. All right, so if your urine is dark and concentrated, it means that you don't drink enough water, that you don't drink the water you need, and your body is doing things to get that water from the blood. Okay, and that's it. Okay, there you go, some words that I would like you to write down over there. And first, up to that part, before going back to see the specific words, Karen, and then you're going to explain one more time. Do you have any questions about this part? Let me know, please.
No.
No? All right. So the words that you should have in your vocabulary list, I think you already wrote some of them, are sweat, right? You have that one, sweat. Also, it's going to be bowel movements. Sorry. You need those words as well. Then this is important, right? Do you know what's loss?
No.
What is the fluid loss? Loss is the noun of lose, right? You lose or you win. Okay, loss. The fluid loss means la pérdida de fluido. Okay, loss. Well, for example, right, when someone dies, you say, I'm sorry for your loss. Lamento tu pérdida. All right, so loss. So also write that word, please, Karen. All right, loss. Then this is very important, right? You need to have the three words in your list: hydration, dehydration, and overhydration, right? The three of them. Here is overhydration, right? Hydration, dehydration, overhydration. The three of them are very important. Now, we don't need that specific vocabulary. Kidneys, this is a very important one. Kidneys, right? You understand, right? These organs, the kidneys. Do you have questions about that word? Karen, let me know, please.
No. No.
All right. Okay. Then enable. This is a very interesting verb. Okay, let's write that down, please. To enable. Also retain. Okay, retain. It can be sometimes simple to understand, but it's interesting that you can use those words. And I think that's it. Okay, here we know concentrated and dark, right? We know that one. And also this one, please, leading or to lead, right? Remember you asked me about that verb, to lead, right? To guide, to take you to one place, all right? Leading. So if there are no questions about those words, please, to finish this one, let's do the following. Let's explain everything one more time, and you can use your own words or you can use the words that you just learned. Okay, let's try to do it one more time, please, Kathy.
Okay. Our body lose 2 or 3 liters of water a day by sweating, by enter to the bathroom, or breathing. And it's important that we maintain. It's important maintain our body hydrated, hydrated, hydrated,
Hydrated, hydrated.
hydrated, and if we have overhydrated dre- or dehydrated, it's dangerous for our body. Then if we don't have enough water, our brain sends sends a sign to keep water in our bodies, and this is why we go to the bathroom and uh, uh, to uh, nice. Eso, a urinar, no, right?
Urine, our urine,
Our urine is dark, not
dark.
dark.
Yes, it of course is not dark, right? But it's darker than usual, you can say, right? It's darker than usual. All right, good. I think it was pretty good. All right. These are only the only details that I'm going to show you. They are in the chat. Instead of you said it's important, then the verb, you always need to use the infinitive. All right. It's important to maintain, for example, right? Don't say it directly, it's important maintain. No, it's important to maintain a balance of water in our body, right? At the beginning also you said the body lose, but the body is one body, right? So it's singular, it means loses, right? With es. The body loses 2 to 3 liters of water. In also this one I didn't write it down, sorry. Instead of at day, right? Only say a day or per day. Okay, a day or per day, but without the T. All right, good. And the last one, it's better if you use this expression. If our body is dehydrated or overhydrated, it can be dangerous, right? Because you use that as a noun, but you said something like if our body has dehydration or something like that, right? But it's better if you use the adjective. If our body is dehydrated or if our body is overhydrated, it can be dangerous for our body, right? And it can have very negative consequences. But that's it, all right? Those are my observations. I think everything else was very good. I don't know if you have any questions to finish with this one, Karen, because again, you have, as with the articles, right? We cannot read everything or watch everything, because if I show you the entire video, it's going to be more watching than learning the words. And to me, it's important that you see the words, all right? And they are clear for you. So let me know, please. Do you have any questions, comments, or anything about it?
No,
No?
no.
All right. Okay, good. It's good. Remember, you're going to try to use those words anytime that I ask you for examples, right? For example, tomorrow we have a class. If you need to write some examples, try to use these new words that you're seeing here. All right, you have the vocabulary. I'm going to ask you anytime to use those words, but try to do it by yourself, right? So that you get used to using them and you feel good by doing it. Sometimes we understand the word, but sometimes when we use it, it's not correctly, right? Because sometimes they are verbs, they are nouns, and they can be confusing. All right. The only way in which you're going to be sure that you understand the word is when you can use them in examples.
Okay.
All right, but we're going to do that in class. So that's it then for today, Karen. I'm going to send the link as always so that you can answer those questions. Do it, please, and let me know when you finish.
Okay, I'm finished.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Have a good night then, and I'll see you tomorrow in class. All right?
Good to see you.
Bye bye. See you.